Hey everyone, today I have a BB-11 Trident to take a look at. It's a fairly simple, pretty straightforward figure, but even so, it has a lot of great qualities that are worth talking about. Starting with the package design, the box art is beautiful as always. Trident was designed by Saibuku apparently. Don't recall seeing that name come up very much, so I'm not sure if they're a regular Beastbox designer or not. So a little bit about me. I lived in southern Louisiana for several years when I was a kid. Down there you'd find crawfish everywhere. I'd find them swimming through the ditches in my neighborhood. Not to put too fine of a point on it, but as the Cajun expression goes, if it swims in the water, that's food. Quick sidebar, I've seen a number of people describe Trident as a lobster. Anatomically, it is actually a crawfish. Of course, everyone's entitled to their opinion, and that's certainly open for debate. If you've got a different point of view of that, sure, let me know with a comment. As far as the color scheme goes, I think it's really nicely done. The deep, transparent red, gold, and gunmetal accents, neon piping rounds it out with a bit of a future tech, or kind of a Tron look. Moving on to articulation, the first thing to keep in mind is this is a shellfish, so its posability reflects the real-life animal. Even at that, it has a pretty dynamic range of motion in the forelimbs. The tail curls up, which, if you're familiar with shellfish, that's their defense mechanism they use to escape predators. It's a great character study of the animal that it represents. 5.2 Toys nailed it, as they often do. As far as working as an action figure, 5.2 Toys did their due diligence, and they included connection ports so you can add weapons and accessories. Alright, moving on, we'll go ahead and transform this into a box. First thing you want to do is bring the forelimbs up to a 90-degree angle and give it clearance. One thing that's easy to forget are these articulated flaps. Trident can be transformed without them, but they're essentially a gap filler for the box mode. Now we fold the back fin down. Bring the tail down 90 degrees and make sure that it's flush with the body. Fold the midsection claws down. Curl the fin underneath like so. Rotate the head down. Bring the whiskers down. These get tucked in underneath the midsection legs. Now we line up the hind legs so they're straight on both sides. Now for the claws, you want to rotate the bottom part out. Same on the other side. Flip the claw back into its groove. One clever little bit here is the front part of the claws on an accordion hinge. So that will actually just slide forward and then into that groove. The forelimbs snap into the head section, and here's what I was saying about those filler gaps. And of course it slides into its box charger nicely. Yeah, so one thing I want to call attention to is 5.2 Toys designs these figures inside and out. The box mode is not just a 2-inch cube. Very often they have aesthetically interesting design elements and really work as an avatar of the character itself. Trident is a really interesting study in geometric shapes and patterns and one of my favorite box designs. The claw tips form this interesting sawtooth pattern. Stamped diamond patterns for a nice shape and texture, and a whole lot of interesting shapes and imprinted details. I'd love to see 5.2 Toys do more character designs in this style. Now it's time to give Trident a box grade. This is a rating system of 6 categories, scored 0 to 5 points for a total of 30 points possible, 0 being a total failure and perfect score being a must-have. Trident scores major nostalgia points for my Louisiana days, and I can't imagine a better representation of a crawfish. Totally earns a 5 out of 5. This is a character design that's solely focused on the creature. It's perfect to me. I prefer this type of character study without the gimmicks, though I'm sure less appealing to people who want more of an action figure. 3 out of 5. Transformation is extremely straightforward with an aesthetically interesting box mode and with a less is more design approach. It goes to show that there's beauty in simplicity. 5 out of 5. As Beastboxes go, this is not an action figure. It's very much a character study of a creature. With that in mind, it's a spot-on, anatomically accurate representation of a crawfish. It's 3 out of 5. Nothing stands out as exceptional as far as build quality or materials, but one thing I want to call attention to is a lot of Beastboxes tend to have exposed screws. They managed to hide most of that on Trident, which gives it an overall much cleaner look. 4 out of 5. Transformation is straightforward, fun to do, and genuinely a pleasure to take out of its box charger every now and then. But to be realistic, there isn't a whole lot that you could do with it aside from putting it on a shelf somewhere. I'll give it 2 out of 5. That brings the box grade to 22 out of 30. For me, having southern roots, Trident is a point of pride. Beautiful in its simple geometry and overall looks great. It doesn't offer much in the way of an action figure, so with all things Beastbox, your mileage may vary. If you enjoyed this review, I'd appreciate a like or a comment, or subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and whatever you do, have a great day.